So you're gonna have to get out to the registration table because it is.
It's 8:02.
Yes.
I get them to put my Coke half and half.
Hello, my name is Maya McLean. I attend Presentation Academy. I'm 16 years old and I'm a junior, and I serve as Vice President on Teen Leadership Council.
So how long have you been on the Teen Leadership Council?
About to be a year or 2 years.
So how did you find out about Teen Leadership Council?
My mother told me, and then she was like, well, it would be a good program for you to get to know people and help in the community, so she got me into it.
Do you plan to use your experiences with the Teen Leadership Council in your plans for college or your next
Yes, I
step?
plan to because I'm going to do a lot of stuff that has communication-wise, and this involves a lot of communication.
Are you the vice president?
Yes, sir.
So how did you become the vice president?
Summer was like, she's the president. She was like, you should be vice president because we both have like a year of experience now, and we lost a lot of seniors last year, so I thought it would be good to step up to the plate and take more responsibility this year.
So as the senior leadership of the Teen Leadership Council, what are some of y'all's plans for this year?
We're going to do a lot of activities within the community, probably do the annual walk again to make it a yearly thing because that was really successful last year. So we're going to do that again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Salita Edwards. I am the treasurer at Teen Leadership Council. I go to Atherton High School and I am in the 9th grade. What drew me to Teen Leadership Council is that they do a lot of things that like get you interacted in the community, and you can get like a lot of community service hours, which is really good for college applications.
Now tell me, well, first of all, how long have you been in the Teen Leadership Council?
Well, I haven't been in here long. I've been in here since September.
And what kind of activities have you been involved in since you've been with the Teen Leadership Council?
Since I've been in Teen Leadership Council, I do a lot more workshops, and I come here and I do volunteer hours, and I actually like participate in like meetings and planning and scheduling of different things.
Are you the treasurer?
Yes.
So what's that involve?
Treasurer involves like working closely with the financial director and getting like the bank statements and like working with the money and helping like see how we can use the money.
So what's going to happen today?
Today we are having our leadership workshop. It's the 7 habits of good teens, I think, and they're going to talk about how you can become a better teenager and you can work with your time better and things like that.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks. Have a good workshop.
My name is Aaliyah Lee, and I'm the recording secretary in Team Leadership. I've experienced lots of communication and commuting skills and other things.
Now tell me something about yourself. How old are you? What school you go to?
I'm 13, and I go to Music Middle School, and I'm in 8th grade.
Is it recording? Summer. Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. Hello, Governor.
Hello, my name is DeMarcus Camp. I go to Valley High School. I'm a freshman. I've been in TLC for 2 years now, and it's very fun.
So how did you find out about Teen Leadership Council?
By my brother, Stefan Camp.
And since you've been involved with it, how has it affected you?
It affected me by showing me how to be a leader and how to organize workshops and different things.
And then right here, right, is your race. Hello, my name is Summer Payne. I am president of the Teen Leadership Council. I got involved in the Teen Leadership Council through Miss Yolanda Demery. Her mother-in-law is a friend of my mom's, and that's how I found out about it.
How long have you been president?
This is my first year.
And as president, you are the leadership role.
Yeah.
What do you hope to accomplish during your tenure as president?
I hope to accomplish more activities throughout the workshop and bringing more community service outreach.
Tell me a little bit about today's activity.
Today we are doing the 7 Habits of Highly Affected Teens by Sean Covey, and it's about just how can you be a leader in your community and how can you involve others with different things and how you can better yourself.
So tell me about some of the other projects you got planned in the future.
The other projects we have planned in the future is we'll have another ACT prep workshop. We will have another, another workshop probably like this, and we'll have more public speaking workshops.
Well, congratulations on your term as president.
Thank
And,
you.
You have a lot of responsibility.
I do. Okay, and then you sign right what school you go to.
Good morning. You're welcome to have your birthday.
All right. Good morning. My name is William McKinley Blackford IV. I'm here to help fire up these students around leadership, how to lead from the inside out. We use as a foundation the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, because that's exactly what we want these teenagers to be. We want them to be effective in every role that they play.
Take it easy, go to
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's been fun. Just,
Good morning.
Oh,
How you doing this morning?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Good. Just tell me a little bit about what your presentation is going to be about this morning.
With William Blackford, we're going to talk to the young people about the 7 habits of highly effective teens. We think it's a great way to teach a set of values for young people to get them on the right road to success. And that's what we want for all of them. But it's not just what we want, it's what we have to have for this country if we're going to succeed. So, William's on the road full time doing this stuff, and I've been messing around with it for several years now, and it's been good fun. So I hope we can get their attention.
Thank you.
Artists in Residence, a new video series about Mary Lambert. Visit Amex.
Where should I?
Hey, Dad.
Hello, welcome to the seven Habits of Highly Effective Teens workshop. My name is Manai Holman. I go to Johnson Traditional in the 7th grade. I'm a historian, and this is going to be a fun and explosive workshop.
Hello, my name is Aaliyah Lee, and I go to Mazik Middle School, and I'm in the 8th grade. And I'm on team leadership, and I'm in the a recording secretary.
My name is Summer Payne. I go to Central High School, and I am president.
My name is Maya McLean. I'm a junior at Presentation Academy, and I'm vice president.
My name is Rita Edwards. I go to Atherton High School. I'm a freshman, and I'm the treasurer.
My name is DeMarcus Camp. I go to Valley High School. I'm a freshman, and I am the chaplain.
My name's Alan. I go to Manual. I'm a junior. I'm just a member.
My name is Logan. I go to Manual. I'm a senior.
And And we are very, very grateful to have two guests here today, William McKinley Blackfoot IV and Dr. Thomas H. Crawford. They're going to be having y'all have so much informative, fun stuff to do. So let's get started.
My name is William McKinley Blackfoot IV. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York. I came here to play football for the University of Louisville, where I was an All-American defensive back. Met my wife there. She's a Hall of Fame basketball player. We went half on some babies, and we decided to stay here. I absolutely love Louisville. I absolutely love this state, and I wouldn't change anything from my journey that I've experienced so far. That's who I am. This is Dr. Tom Crawford. That is my good friend, and we are here to fire you up about leadership. When you think about leadership, here's what we want you to understand. When you look at the tip of an iceberg, that looks huge, that looks big, that looks gigantic. But you're only looking at the tip. If you look at beneath the iceberg, the mass beneath the iceberg is larger than the tip of the iceberg, just like it is with you. What's on the inside of you is much larger than what's on the outside, what people see. You are brilliant, you are strong, you are beautiful, you are capable, you are competent. You have everything it takes in order to succeed. You don't need anything extra. You have what you need inside of you. My good friend Simon T. Bailey says that you have brilliance on the inside of you. Oliver Wendell Holmes said this. He said, doesn't matter what lies in front of you. Doesn't matter what lies behind you. What matters is what lies within you. And what's in you is greatness. And when we talk about leadership, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how you develop from the inside out. How do we get all of that power and that potential to blossom and to bloom? We want you to think big. We want you to be the type of people that think big. Think big, because people who think big, they go big. People who think big, they go big. And we want you to be great big thinkers. There's a poem that goes, 2 men looked out of bars, one seen mud, one seen stars. 2 men looked out of bars, one seen mud, one seen stars. The challenge with that particular poem is that whatever you focus on will become larger. Whatever you focus on, you will gravitate towards. So if you're constantly looking down towards the mud, you'll be drawn towards the mud. You have dirty thoughts, dirty friends, dirty dreams, dirty realities, and you'll play in the mud. You'll never grow beyond the mud. But if you look up, you'll begin to reach up. And that's what big thinkers do. Big thinkers always look up. They're always trying to extend themselves beyond themselves. They're always trying to reach beyond themselves to something that they can achieve, some goal, some lofty experience. So we want you to think big so that you can go big. Let me introduce you to some big thinkers. Tell me what he invented. The light bulb. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. On one occasion, they said, Mr. Edison, you failed over 1,000 times to invent the light bulb. He said, no, I didn't fail over 1,000 times. He said, I discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work. If you're going to think big and go big, you got to be the type of person that's willing to take risk. You got to be willing to be the type of person that's willing to fail. See, here's what you got to understand about failure. Failure is like fertilizer. It stinks, but it helps you grow. It helps you grow. He was willing to fail, so he was willing to achieve great success. Think big, go big. But watch this man right here, Lewis Latimer. Lewis Latimer. Thomas Edison created a light bulb that could only burn for 2 hours. Lewis Latimer created the filament in the light bulb that allowed it to last 2 weeks. This man right here, an African American, improved on Thomas Edison's idea. Not only that, he had over 200 patents to his name. See, big thinkers always are looking to improve. They're always looking to get better. So you ask yourself the question, why I got to get up early in the morning and I got to go to that leadership workshop? The reason why is because if you're going to think big, you got to get better. You got to always be looking for some way to sharpen your saw. Always looking for some way to get better. Always looking for some way to grow. Because big thinkers now are always inventing new ways to invent and to create a change and make it better for other people. Lewis Latimer, 200 patents to his name. Let me introduce you to another big thinker. Henry Ford. Henry Ford was a big thinker. What did Ford create all together? The car. Watch this. Watch this. Henry Ford had a 6th grade education. He had a 6th grade education simply because he had to take care of his family. One man said, Mr. Ford, you shouldn't be running this company. You're illiterate. He said, wait a minute. He said, wait a minute. He said, you're right. Because of my situation, I had to drop out, but I got a little black box on my desk. He said, when I need the top person in business, I push that little black box and the top person in business comes. When I need the top person in science, I push that little button and the top person in science comes in. He said, when I need to know the best thing about math, I push that little button. In other words, what he was saying, he said, I surrounded myself with other big thinkers. You are the sum total of those you hang around with. You show me your friends, I'll show you your future. If you don't surround yourself with other big thinkers, then what will happen is people will drag you down. People will drag you down. Big thinkers always surround themselves with other big thinkers. Notice he started out here, it started out right there, and then it moved to here. It started out there and then it moved to here. See, when you surround yourself with great big thinkers, when you surround yourself with people who are moving somewhere, you start off right here, but now you move to a new and improved you, a better you. Let me introduce you to Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa cared for those who were in need. She gave her life for caring for those who are in need. People who think big go big because they care. One of the things that we desperately need is we need compassionate leaders. We need leaders who care not only about themselves. If in fact you are so self-absorbed and narcissistic and you only care for yourself, you will only lead within a small circle. See, great big thinkers have great big hearts. Their tent is big enough. They care about the person who's sitting next to them. They care about their neighborhood. They care about their parents. They care about their friends. If you're going to be a big thinker, you got to learn how to care, like Mother Teresa. Let me introduce you to these two gentlemen, big thinkers. We use this product every day. Google. Google. They created Google. Big thinkers create things that connect everybody. This man right here. He created Facebook, a way to connect everybody. Big thinkers always are looking for ways to connect one another. This man right here created what we call a disruptive innovation. He disrupted the innovation and changed the way we consume music. I know. Right here, let me give you an example. That's my PC. This right here is an overhead projector. Y'all didn't even know what this was, did y'all? This right here is an overhead projector. This is old school, right? This is new school. Here's what he did. Here's what he did. He now created a way to consume music. We used to go buy these little plastic discs and sit them on a record player. We used to stick a tape in the CD. My tape, or CD disc in a CD. My tape used to break all the time. Matter of fact, I pulled out some old tapes and tried to listen to them last week and couldn't find me a tape player. Yeah, that's how old school that is. Watch this. He created that. LeBron was a big thinker. Serena is a big thinker. Jay-Z is a big thinker. Michael was a big thinker. This woman right here, you're going to think big, you're going to go big. This woman right here, Madam C.J. Walker, the first female multimillionaire, black or white. First female multimillionaire, created hair powder. She went into her kitchen, she looked at a way that she could beautify herself and beautify others. And she said, if I could help beautify others and accentuate their beauty, I'm going to take it to the marketplace. She took it to the marketplace and multi-millionaire. Here's what you got to understand, is that you have a multi-million-dollar idea in your head right now. All you have to do is go in the kitchen, figure out how to now bring it to the marketplace, and you now can help other people. First female multimillionaire. When you think big, you go big. You're able to generate resources. Oprah is worth $3 billion. This man right here, he said, never be afraid of small beginnings. Because after all, this thing began with a mouse, Walt Disney. Walt Disney. That's why you can't discourage on where you come from. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's about where you're going. This man right here made 15 millions because he thought big and he went big. Made 15 millions. Guess what he created? This is going to mess you up. Silly bands. Silly bands. I know you looking, you got your thinking cap on with the little ball. You looked over there, man, I can't believe he paid $15 million. $15 million off of silly bands. But wait a minute. Look at this man, he made $200 million. Watch this. He took his idea to a group of investors. They laughed him out the room. And here's what you gotta understand. You gotta be willing to invest in yourself. Sometimes people gonna laugh at you. Sometimes they're not gonna think that your idea is the best idea. He invested in himself, and watch this, $200 million later, look at what his invention, the Snuggie. Yeah, you saying this, I wish I had that Snuggie idea. I wish that was my idea. $200 million later. This man, $80 million. He created that little goofy thing. I know he looked crazy. He looked crazy with $80 million in his pocket. He created that thing you throw up against the wall and it crawled down. Oh, anybody ever seen that? No. Anybody? We got a few people ever seen that. Okay, this man right here, we use his product, $400 million. We use his product right now. I guarantee you, somebody's gonna use his product before the day is out. Instagram. $400 million. $400 million. And you're gonna hit him with one of these. Take you a selfie and post it right there on Instagram. $400 million. People who think big, go big. That's all we want you to do. We want you to think big so that you can go big. But it's one thing that you have to overcome. One thing that you got to overcome. You got to overcome your fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Some of you are afraid of being different. You're afraid of living outside of your neighborhood. You're afraid of branching out. You want to just fit in and go along with everybody else that seems like they're quote unquote cool. But until you overcome your fear, you will never be successful. You will never achieve your goals. Fear now will paralyze you. Fear will keep you from expressing yourself. Fear will hide your shine and it will dull your shine and hide your beauty. Fear will hold you back. You have to overcome your fear because life is like a great big slide. Life is like a great big slide. You got to climb the stairs and be willing to get on for the ride. Now watch this. You may look like this. You may look like this when you're coming down. But I promise you, it will be the ride of your life. It will be the ride of your life. We want you to graduate. The reason why we want you to graduate is because we want you to become lifelong learners. Because the more you learn, the more you earn. Lifelong learners. The more you learn, the more you earn. Watch this. Here's what we discovered. People with a bachelor's degree, they make about on average, $55,000 a year. People with a master's degree, on average, $68,000 a year. A doctorate degree, on average, $91,000 a year. A professional degree, $100,000 a year. Now, 1 year, that may not seem like much, but you add that up over 20 years' time. You add that up. Most of you will make, when you pursue your education as your top priority, you will make over $1 million in your lifetime. And then you got to figure out, it ain't how much you make, it's how much you keep. Because the more you learn, the more you earn. People who think big, go big. But it doesn't matter what I see, doesn't matter what your teachers see, doesn't matter what people hear at LCCC. What matters is what you see. Who do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see someone that is capable? Do you see someone that is confident? Do you see someone that's strong? Do you see someone that's a leader? That's what we're all about. We want you to be a leader. All of you have a unique gift. No one in here has the same thumbprint or the same fingerprint. You all have something unique to offer. You are a leader in your own strength. For example, you might be the leader of Little Funny Hats. You might be that leader. You might be that leader. But we want you to rock that hat like it's the best hat in the world. And then if that one blow off, you go in your bag and you pull out another one. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Yes. When we talk about leadership, we're talking about your strengths. How do you develop? These particular men right here at the pack, here's what they made. When they were your age, they made a promise to themselves and to one another. They said, all three of us, we're going to become doctors. They grew up in the same type of neighborhoods. They grew up with all sorts of dysfunction, bullying, drugs, drama, Twitter fights, Facebook fights, all that type of stuff y'all growing up with in a different time. They grew up with. They were challenged by that. But here's what they made a pact with one another. They said, we will be doctors. All three of them became doctors, all because they held each other accountable. That's what we want you to do. We want you to become a group that holds each other accountable for achieving. You should be able to help him. You should be able to help her. You should hold her accountable. You should hold him accountable. If you ever see them living beneath their potential, we want you to pull them up and encourage them to come up. Their success was turned into a book and turned into a movie. Think big, go big. The question is, how do you go big? This is how you go big. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teams is a process. It is an operating system for you to go big. When I was a defensive back at the University of Louisville, this is what we did. We did this every day. Backpedal, plant and drive. Backpedal, plant and drive. Asked my coach, why do you do this every day? He said, because I want it to become a habit. I want it to be something that you do without thinking. See, because when you're in the game, you need to have successful habits if you're going to be successful. Here's what you got to understand. First you make your habits, then your habits make you. First you make your habits, then your habits make you. So that when you're in the game of life, if you already have successful habits, when the blows come, when the challenging times come, you will already be able to do without thinking the things that it takes in order for you to be successful. The 7 Habits is all about you now producing success, developing habits that will give you what you need so that you can reach every dream that you ever had. And Dr. Crawford and I, we're here to fire you up around habits. If you see Doc's stuff, you got to understand Dr. Crawford was the person who found me. He found me working out of my trunk. I finished up my undergraduate degree in West Africa. Where I seen a rites of passage program for boys. I came back and I wrote my first grant to consult with Jefferson County Public Schools at the age of 21. And they funded the grant, and I decided I wanted to work with middle school boys. I started working with middle school boys out of my trunk. Dr. Crawford found me, and he said, man, I want to show you something. He introduced me to the 7 Habits, paid for them to come down, his own money, out of his own resources, and he lifted me up. He provided me with the tools. I instantly seen the benefit. And we exposed about 8,000 teenagers to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. Now, it's early. And we got a long way to go. We're going to go through each of these habits so that you will know them. My prayer and my hope is that you will embrace them. You will embrace them and begin to live them. Because here's what I know. There is brilliance inside of you. There is greatness inside of you. In order for you to harness that greatness, you need some habits. You need an operating system. This is your operating system. Come on, I'm going to teach you all the habits in 30 seconds. Everybody stand right where you are. Everybody stand right where you are. What I need y'all to do, I need y'all to repeat after me. I need you to use your big boy, your big girl voice. All right? Repeat after me. Do what I do. All right? Be proactive.
Be proactive.
Okay, that was good. That was good to be polite and everything. But I ain't trying to be polite today. I'm trying to let everybody on the next block know. Y'all ready? Be proactive.
Be proactive.
Good. Begin with the end in mind.
Begin with the end in mind.
Put first things first.
Put first things first.
Think win-win.
Think win-win.
Oh, y'all got this thing. Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Let's do that one again. Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Synergize.
Synergize.
All right. Sharpen the saw.
Sharpen the saw.
All right, everybody sit down. Everybody sit down. Everybody look at me. Now watch this. I'm going to do the movement. I'm going to do the movement. I want you now to tell me what habit it is. Y'all ready? Boy, see, I can talk to y'all in 30 seconds. 30 seconds, okay? Okay, which one did I forget? Okay, I thought first things first. What else did I forget? Oh, your ears must have just been itching, man. Right here, what's his name? Right here, glasses. Right here, man, you. Which one did I forget? You went like this. I thought you was gonna say, see, first understand, then be understood. All right, good job. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna walk through each of these particular habits, and we don't have time to go through them all in depth. But the reason why you're at tables and you're sitting together is because I want you to have high leverage conversations with one another. Let me turn this. Oh, there it is. There it is. What does that look like?
A tree.
A tree. Is that a big tree or a small tree?
Small tree.
It's a big tree. Hold your horses. You was confident. I like that. If you're going to be wrong, you might as well be confident. That's a big, strong, mature tree. If that was a little tree and a storm came, what would happen? It would fall over. It would fall over. If a storm comes and it hits that big tree, what happens? It stands. It loses some leaves, but it stands. Here's what we want. 7 Habits is not about, good kids, bad kids. It's about you maturing. We want you to mature into a strong tree, because when the storms of life hit, and you will experience storms of life, drug use, storms of life, pressure for sex, storms of life, the emotional baggage that goes along with all of it, storms of life, family problems, storms of life, arguing with people, having these particular fights, storms of life. Do I fit in? Am I capable? Am I competent? Storms of life. I wonder if they really like me. Storms of life. All of you will experience the storms of life. So when the storms of life hit you, we want you to be strong and mature. When you look at that tree, what's at the top of that tree? Leaves, good. What else do you see? You see the cloud and you see the sun. Excellent. You see the cloud and you see the sun. Watch this. Out of that cloud is coming some rain. In other words, people that are mature and strong, here's what they know. They know they got to go through some hard things in order to get to the good things. Hard things, the cloud, the rain, homework. Good things, the sun, good grades. Hard things, saying I'm sorry. Good things, healthy relationships. Hard things, doing my chores at home. Good things, developing a work ethic. Yeah, see, your chores at home ain't got nothing to do with you cleaning. I promise you, as a parent, I can clean my own house. Only thing I'm trying to do is prepare you is when you leave my house. Because watch this. As my children, here's what I tell them. Number 1, this ain't your house. Number 2, you're going to leave here one day. And you're going to have your own. So we want you to develop a strong work ethic. It's a hard thing in order to get to the good thing. So mature people know they got to go through the hard thing. Today we're going to ask you to do some hard things. We're going to ask you to pay attention. I'm going to ask you to put your phones away. And believe me, I done seen every move about texting. I know you could do it under the table, so on and so forth. I done peeped every move you got. All right? We want you to pay attention. We want you to be engaged. We want you to talk to one another. Talk to one another. Because at the end of the day, when I'm gone, you need to be able to talk to the people around you about where you're headed, about your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, so that you can hold one another accountable. Is that fair? Yes. Is that fair?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, well, let's ride. Y'all ready? Let's ride with these habits. Habit number 1, and then I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Tom. He's going to talk about habit number 2, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about habit number 2. We're going to engage in some activities. Dr. Tom is going to blow stuff up over here, so you just make sure you watch out, Dr. Tom. But we're going to do all of that today, all right? All right, let's look at, where's my clicker? All right, here's what you got to understand about the habits. 7 habits are just common sense, but common sense is not always common practice. At your tables, have a conversation, or better yet, with the person across from you, have a conversation. What does that mean? What does that mean? Have a conversation with the person across from you. What does that mean? Come back to me, y'all. What does that mean? Right here.
I said basically like everybody doesn't know how to use their common sense well.
Okay,
Like,
good.
everybody's not on their feet about it.
Good, excellent. Anybody else? What does that mean? What did you talk about at your table? Right here. Okay, good. He says, I'm surrounded in an area where people don't use common sense much. What else? Anybody else? My wait time is impeccable, y'all.
What does impeccable mean?
Hey, this I see right there. He's gonna be my friend. I like him right there. All right, talk back to me. Right here. Good, excellent, excellent. Here it is. 7 habits are just common sense, but common sense is not always common practice. If you want to get good at something, what do you have to do? You gotta practice it. You gotta practice it. You gotta practice it. So you can know the right thing to do, but what? Fail to do it. So we want you to get in the habit of practicing healthy habits. Practicing healthy habits. Habit number 1, be proactive. Let me get a volunteer up here. Let me get 2 volunteers up here. Man, thank you, you, and you. Thank you. Come on up here, y'all. Come on up here. Thanks for volunteering. Thanks for volunteering. Okay, y'all. I don't have it, but this, y'all stand right up here in front. Right here, right here. There y'all go. There you go, right here. That's water. This, I want you to imagine, is soda. All right? This is pop. All right?
Dang, I love
Okay. Here's something about being proactive and reactive. I want you to open up your books to habit number 1. Open up your books to habit number 1. Here's what I want you to do. At your tables, I want one person to volunteer to read all the way down to, I want y'all to take turns. Y'all go around and choose all the way down to scene 1. And then I want y'all to tell me what proactive and reactive means.
Your friend talks behind your back. Someone
Your friend talks behind your back. Someone
you get a practice on it. So what
Or do you just let it go and laugh about it?
What's between proactive and reactive? Right here. Use your big girl voice. Remember what we said, you got to overcome that fear. Overcome it. Go ahead.
Okay, well, proactive people don't really let like things get to them. They like kind of just like, oh well, or like they push it off to the side like water. Like if you shake up the water, it's not gonna explode. It's just gonna like stay the same. But like reactive people, they like explode a lot more. Like soda, if you shake soda, it'll explode.
Good, excellent. Give me my volunteers up here. Grab them 2 bottles. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Everybody can see y'all. Here you go. Now look, I'm gonna say some scenarios. You have to tell me, all of you have to tell me whether it's proactive or whether it's reactive. Now, you got the soda. if it's reactive, you got to do your best shake dance. All right?
There you go.
Oh, here you go. Yeah, here you go. Here you go. If it's reactive, you do your best shake dance. I mean, you get it like that right there. You got to do your best shake dance, all right? Now, if it's proactive, don't be laughing. You're going to be getting yours too. If it's proactive, you got to do your best shake dance. All right? You got to do your best shake dance. All right? Y'all tell me whether it's proactive or reactive. All right. You come home, the little sister was in your room. You went and yelled at her and slammed the door. Proactive or reactive?
Reactive.
What?
That's not a shake dance.
Okay. All right, that's his best shake dance, y'all. That's his best shake dance. All right. Your parents, you ask your parents, can you go to the party? They say not until you get your room clean. All right? And you slam the door and go downstairs. Proactive or reactive?
Reactive.
Okay. All right. All right. Go to school. You get a D on the test that you study hard for. And you go and talk to your friends, and your friends cheer you up about it. Proactive or reactive?
Proactive.
What is it? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Can y'all cheer him on or something? Somebody give him a beat or something. Well, is that your best? Is that your best shake dance? Okay, that's it with the beat. That was good. All right. Somebody tweets you something, right? That somebody was talking about you. And you decide to go see them. Wait a minute. You decide to go see them and talk about it. Proactive or reactive?
Proactive.
All right. Last one. Get on Facebook. And some people were talking about you. This time you go see them and you ready to fight. Proactive or reactive?
Reactive.
All right. Now here, if you're reactive and you open up that can of soda, what will happen?
It will explode.
It will explode. And when it explodes, what takes place? Huh? I'm gonna open this right here. It explodes. What will happen?
Everything would be wet.
Everything would be wet. What else will happen? Everybody would be affected. I love that. Say that again. It'd be a lot of mess. Here's the problem with reactive people, is you're always causing a lot of mess. Always causing a lot of mess. It gets over everybody. It doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody around you. All right? So when you're reactive, you explode and you impact everybody around you. But what happens if you're proactive? If you're and I open this, what will happen? Why not? I love that. Watch this. When you calm, cool, and collected on the inside, what happens is, when they open you up, you're going to always be calm, cool, and collected. You don't let other people push your buttons. Watch this. The moment you let other people push your buttons, you become a victim. How can you be a victor or be victorious if you're always a victim? It's always somebody else's fault. How many of you, by show of hands, somebody made you mad? Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand high. Watch this. According to habit number 1, nobody makes you mad. You choose to be mad based on what people do. And if you can choose to be mad, what also can you choose?
Be calm.
To be calm. What you say? Okay? You can choose to explode or not to explode. I'm going to choose not to explode because I'm going to be proactive versus reactive. Give it up for our shake dancers, y'all. Give it up for the shake dancers. Take it down, man. You better not see y'all at no party. I'm going to take y'all home automatically. Worst shake dancers in the world. All right? Proactive, you want to be like the water, you don't want to be reactive. Here's a video. As you watch this video, tell me, were they proactive or were they reactive?
Excuse me. I know you didn't get anyone to catch you, but you just slammed your door into my car. The least you can do is say you're sorry, lady. You don't have to take that tone. It's not like I'm hurting your resale value. I'm sorry. See? Like that.
Here, have a conversation with the person across from you. Were they proactive or reactive? That's number one. That's number one. Here's the second question. The second question, what are 3 proactive things they could have done? Proactive or reactive? Reactive. Okay, what's 3 things proactive she could have done? Right here.
She could have like did the same thing, but she could have said, now we're even, and then.
Oh boy. Somebody, hey, y'all help him. Help him right here.
She could have talked in a different tone.
Okay, good. Excellent. She could have used a different tone right here.
She could have at least, like, even if she didn't say, so I'm sorry, she should have just drove off.
Okay, she could have walked away right here. Okay, right here.
In the beginning, she realized that they were parked too close. She could have went to the other door.
Okay, all right, good. She could have went to the other door. Anybody else? Give me some more proactive things she could have done. Now, what if somebody would have done that to you?
You messed up now.
Okay, watch this. Listen to this reactive response. What happens? Now, what's the reactive response you said? If somebody done that to you? You getting cracked to the max. What you say? Crank to the max or crack to the max? Don't be whispering it, man. You don't say it, say it. He said you getting cracked to the max. Is that proactive or reactive? Reactive. Okay, watch this. There's a problem with that. There's a problem with that mentality right there. There's a problem with that paradigm, that mindset. Because the moment you do it, you cause a mess, you explode, you cause a mess. Did they cause a mess?
Yes.
They caused a mess. They caused a major mess. A major mess. And it always happens. So you want to be the more mature person, the more mature. Remember, you got to operate at your highest level of maturity. This is about you becoming mature and now being proactive versus being reactive. Everybody open up your books to page 51. Here's how I know whether you're proactive or reactive, by the language you use. By the language you use. Take time, go around the table, and read through proactive and reactive language. Read through proactive and reactive language. Read to page 52 until you get to the victimitis virus. And read all the way to page 52. Go around the table. Take time.
teacher was such a jerk, things that you
I can't change it.
What you're really saying
Can't
is
change.
school is the cause of what you're really saying.
I had to turn a different school, had better friends, had cooler parents, had a boyfriend. Then I'd be happy. Went there when I explained it, what they're really saying, what I had, like, give someone else.
Consider proactive and reactive language. Who do you hang around the most? Do you hang around reactive people or proactive people? Okay, tell me how so.
You can't say, some people choose both, and then some people just choose, most people will choose proactive people, because when you hang out with proactive people, you will get like a better life, and you will understand more.
Oh, that's powerful, man. I see y'all worked on him. Y'all worked on it. That was powerful right there. But watch this. When you look at that language, let's look at the language real quick at the bottom of the page. Reactive language, proactive language. Somebody read the reactive side for me real quick. Right here, out loud.
I'll try. That's just the way I am. There's nothing I can do. I have to. I can't. You ruined my day.
Okay, somebody read the proactive side out loud right here.
I'll do it. I can do better than that. Let's look at our options. I choose to. There's gotta be a way. I'm not going to let your bad mood rub off.
Okay, when you consider the language people use, see, I can tell where the locus of control is. I can tell whether you're going to be a proactive person or reactive person by the language you use. When you consider the people that you hang around the most, which language? Do they use reactive language or do they use proactive language? Okay, watch this. If in fact you're hanging out with people that are reactive, here's what it suggests. That some of that reactive attitude is rubbing off on you. Is that fair? Is that fair? So you really want to pay the price to be proactive. Another way of us saying it, you want to focus on your circle of control versus your circle of no control. Turn the page, y'all. Turn to page 55. Here's how you become that proactive person. You focus on what you can control, while the things that you can't control, you don't give any attention. What I can control is what I directly impact. I can control me doing my homework. I can control whether I get good grades or not. I don't care if the teacher don't like it. That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it. If in fact you do the work and you turn in the work on time and you do a good job, what's the result of that? Good grades. Whether they like you or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because I can control doing my homework. I can control studying for the test. So we want you to focus on those things. People that are proactive focus on what they directly impact, not what they're concerned about. For example, let me give you another example. What is this circle of control or a circle of no control? People talking about you. Circle of no control. How you respond to what they say. Circle of control. Y'all got this thing. Y'all got this thing. Y'all got it. All right, right here.
But what if somebody's talking at you? Well, it's like every day, and you can't keep just trying to act like you have.
Okay. I love that. Here's what she said. What if somebody talking about you every day? Well, and you can't act like you happy. Well, now you could do what he said. What did he say, y'all? Say it again. Yeah, you're gonna crack them. or you can choose now to ignore them. Or you can choose to confront them. Well, either way, you're making the choice. Either way, you're making a choice. You don't have to confront people with a bad attitude. You can confront them and say, yo, look, things that you're saying about me aren't true. Well, if you choose to go ahead and say those particular things, that's on you. I know what's the truth, and walk away. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Right here.
I got a question. You know how in my school, somebody be talking about them, then when they confront them, then the person who be talking about them, then they get mad and try to fight them.
Okay, here's my rule. Here's my rule. This is my rule in my house. People can say whatever they want about me. We live in a world, we live in a fishbowl existence, especially with Twitter, Instagram, and all that type of thing. You ain't getting away with nothing. People gonna talk about it. They're gonna critique you. They're gonna talk about your hair. They're gonna talk about your lips. They're gonna talk about your eyes. They're gonna talk about my big head. Okay? Ain't nothing I can do about that. What I can do about that, I can be a quality individual, and I can handle my business. I can focus on my circle of control, right? Now, if in fact somebody tries to fight me, like for example, you come over here, I want you to try to fight me. Now see, I ain't even gonna let you get up. I ain't even no. So they try to fight me. If they put their hands on me, okay, now we in a whole different category. We're in a whole other category. Man, I ain't say nothing about cracking nobody, man. I ain't say nothing about cracking nobody. I ain't say nothing about cracking nobody. If they put their hands on you, you're in a whole other category. Now you have to choose what you're gonna do. Now one way of handling that is you can now go tell somebody else. Say, look, they put their hands on me, so on and so forth. Second thing, well, you gotta weigh the consequences. You gotta weigh the consequences. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example straight out of my book. Let me rip a page out of my book. Neighborhood drug dealer, right? Standing in front of my house. I'm a bow hunter and a fisherman. I got my concealed carry license. So oftentimes I'm walking around with a 9mm. Okay, it's because I'm a bow hunter, I'm a fisherman. I carry my firearm with me. All right, I'm licensed to carry a firearm. So neighborhood drug dealer, man, we having a heated debate, man, 2 doors down from my house. I'm telling you better than that. You run around here selling poison, killing people. Well, anybody, if you that selfish to kill people to make money, you are lower than the lowest to me. So I'm confronting me. We talking. We get heated. I mean, we face to face. Then it dawned on me. If I whoop this boy right here, well, I thought about my family. What's gonna be the result of the collateral damage of my family? See, because I ain't gonna always be around. He can do something to my son. He can do something to my daughter. Wait a minute. He can do something to my wife when I'm not home. Okay? So I thought about it. Thought about my principles. I said, my principle, here's my mission statement. My mission statement is to build and to bless, not to beat down and bruise. Okay? I thought about it. I took a pause. I breathed. I said, okay, man, we just gonna agree to disagree today. And we went our separate ways. All right? Now, had I been reactive, I'd have beat that boy down. It was well within I promise you, I'd have beat him to a pulp. And then problem was, it would have caused a mess for everybody I'm connected to. See, it's not just about you. So sometimes you just gotta just pause and think about it. Matter of fact, let me show you what that looks like. Turn to page 65. Let me read this one out loud to you real quick. So when someone is rude to you, where do you get the power to resist being rude back? For starters, just push pause. Yep. Just reach up and push the pause button to your life just as you would on a remote control. If I remember right, the pause button is found somewhere in the middle of your forehead. Sometimes life is moving so fast that we instantly react to everything out of sheer habit. If you can learn to pause, get control, and think about how you want to respond. Pause, get control, and think about how you want to respond. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause, I'm going to think, and then I'm going to do. It's not that I'm not going to do anything. That's not it. See, somebody said, man, I don't want to be no punk. No, it's not that I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to do something. But I'm going to do something that's going to give me the greatest or the maximum result. I'm going to pause, I'm going to think, and then I'm going to do it. Everybody do that with me. Ready? Pause, think, do. All right? So it's not that you're going to truck me. No, It's not that you're just going to run over me. That ain't happening. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna get control. I'm gonna think about my outcome. I'm gonna think about what is the real outcome I want. Real outcome I wanted for the drug dealer is I wanted him now to see that number one, he was killing people. Number two, that he was better than that. He could take those same skills to the marketplace and make more legitimate money. Number three, that I cared about him. That's what I wanted him to see. So I had to pause, think, and then react. Because if I would have reacted right there, cracked him, like you said, you know what I'm saying? It would have been a whole mess. Does that make sense? All right. Good one, good one, good one. All right, y'all, that's being proactive versus being reactive. Everybody kind of understand that one? Good job. Everybody stand up right where you are. Habit number 2. Y'all ready? Begin with the end in mind. No, I need y'all to do it with some enthusiasm. Y'all ready? Begin with the end in mind. Y'all ready? Right after me. Begin with the end in mind. Good. Have a seat. Habit number 2. Habit number 2. Turn it over to my good friend, Dr. Tom.
I'll tell you what. I've been in situations where I've had to do things sometimes, and I really felt the pressure. And this is one of those days. Can you imagine what it's like to follow William Blackford and get a group of young people fired up when he's already got them fired up? And now, what in the world can I do with chemistry, for heaven's sake? Well, that's all I know is chemistry. And I have studied the 7 habits, so I know a little bit about them. But William is really well versed in them. But I'm going to do some chemistry. And now, what the heck does chemistry have to do with anything? Well, it has nothing to do with the 7 habits. But chemistry is an integral part of your life. Whether you like it or not, every pill you take that the doctors prescribe, some chemist synthesized in the laboratory. All the clothes you wear, some chemist has had his or her hand in the preparation of those fabrics for your clothes. They're either cotton that's been treated with something to make it easy to iron and not wrinkle and wrinkle proof, or it's synthetic, it's rayon or neon or whatever. And I want to go back in time, and I want to tell you about what in your book, The 7 Habits, is called a paradigm shift. A paradigm is something that you've learned. Now, I wanted to pass out, in fact, I'll just do this. I have some periodic tables. Now, the periodic table is a listing of all the elements. And an element is a basic substance in nature that can't be broken down to anything simpler. Now, you can break it down into the neutrons and the protons and the electrons, but when those are all together to make, for example, the element sodium. Now, if you look in your periodic table and look for the element sodium, you're going to find the letters Na. Well, what does that got to do with sodium? Well, that's the name that the periodic table has for sodium, Na. And it's natrium. That's why it's Na. This table is a collection of paradigms. And when you look at where an element exists in the periodic table, if it's in this first group over here, these sort of mustard-colored elements, one thing you can tell about every element that's in that column, they all have 1 electron in their outer orbit. See, that's a paradigm that you've learned. And if you go to the next, the green column, they have 2 electrons in their outer orbit. That's another paradigm. So it doesn't matter which of those green-colored elements you're looking at, every one of them you can be confident in has 2 electrons in their outer orbit that makes up what they are. Now, I'm going to do just a little bit of chemistry here. Let me put a squirt of stuff in here. One of the things chemistry does for us, it gives us color. Let's stir this up a little bit, and we get a nice purple color. Let me reach in this bag and grab something. Now, what I'm going to pull out of here is something you're very familiar with. It's dry ice. Now, dry ice is nothing but frozen carbon dioxide. Every time you exhale the gas, carbon dioxide. And there's a company that collects carbon dioxide, and then they lower the temperature, and when it gets cold enough, like water, it freezes. And that's what we just put in here. But notice what's happening. The colors are changing. Chemistry brings us colors. All those colors in the clothes you're wearing have come from some dye that some chemist somewhere synthesized. And those are about all the color changes we're going to get out of that. But we can get colors that are patriotic. We can get red, white, and blue. All of that works because of something called acid-base chemistry. And these different elements react differently to that solution that I've poured in there. Nothing very magic about it. It's just some plain old dull chemistry. But that's what it's all about. Now, I want to tell you about a company, since we're dealing with habit number 2. Now, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. Not that that's an important part of this, but I want you to know something. It'll help you understand the kind of world that you're living in. Your world that you're growing up in is considerably different than the world I grew up in. A lot of the stuff we know now, we didn't know then. I have a back problem. That's why I've been sitting down up here the whole time. And I've had 3 surgeries on my back. 2 of them didn't help. The other one sort of helped. But what they did the 3rd time was the surgeon opened up my back about the belt level, and he put a hole in my back, and then he put a little device in my back. And then he sewed it up. So it's stuck right here. I can feel it. And after he put it in, or when he put it in, my back was open, he ran an electrode, a wire from that device over to my spine and up my spine about halfway and hooked it in so it would stay there. Now, because I have a back problem, when my back is hurting, a nerve sends a message to my spine, to my brain. It goes through some like wires, and it goes to my spine, it goes up my spine to my brain, and a message says, hey, Crawford, your back is hurting. And it sort of tells me where it's hurting. Now, with this new device in my back, when it's turned on, and I didn't bring the device that you turn it on and off with, the little device you hold up against it and you press a button, and it turns that device on. So when my back wants to send a signal to my spine and up my spine to the brain to let me know my back is hurting, if the device is turned on, when that signal tries to go up my spine, that device they wired into my spine sends a message in the opposite direction and cancels it. So the message never gets to my brain. Now, you don't want to do that too often, because how do we know we're hurting? Well, because of these messages that go to the brain. So you don't want to block all those out, because you can have something really wrong and not even know it. But this keeps me from hurting a lot of the time. So that didn't exist when I was your age, but it does today. And it does because people committed themselves to studying the back, the brain, the body. That's the world you're growing up in. You're going to want to survive in this world. And what William is teaching you about the 7 habits is going to give you an edge over a lot of people who've never heard of the 7 habits. They're going to change your value system. I'm going to share something with you, and I've thought a lot whether I ought to do this or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. On March 22nd, a group of young people in downtown Louisville decided that they were going to have some fun. So they went around through the downtown Louisville area, and they beat up a lot of people. They even beat up one of their own people to take her sneakers. They went to cars, and they vandalized those cars, and they threatened the people in the cars. And of course, the police were called. Police came down, they arrested a number of those young people, and put them in jail. Now, they weren't in there long, but it was a misdemeanor, but it was dumb. It's one of the things they did, though, because it seemed like that was something that they could probably do and get away with and have some fun. There's one school in Louisville in the same neighborhood that these other schools were in, where these young people came from. And that one school had no students involved in that melee in downtown Louisville. And the thing that differentiated the kids in that one school from the other schools was the fact that those young people had studied the 7 habits. They had had a shift in their value system. They didn't have a need to go out and beat somebody up, to take something from them that they wanted that wasn't their right to take. So I want you to understand that the 7 habits is just not just a game. This is an incredibly serious set of principles and values that can make a difference in your life. And we're seeing it happen right here in Louisville. So I just want to encourage you to take seriously what William is sharing with you. Okay, well, so much for that. Let's do something. What I wanted to tell you was back in 1929, now that's a long time ago. That was even before I was around. I was born in 1931. And there's a big chemical company called the DuPont Chemical Company. And they used to have a plant down on Southwestern Parkway. I think they've shut that down, but I'm not sure. Their board of directors came together, and one of the guys had an idea. He said, you know, we've always looked for new ideas within our own group of employees, but we're really not turning out a lot of new ideas. I'm going to make a suggestion. We're going to shift our paradigm. We're going to go out looking for the best chemist we can find, and we're going to bring that person to the DuPont company and tell him, you go into the lab and you do chemical research, and out of that research will come new ideas and new products. And they all agreed. So they sent a team around the world. They went over to Europe, they went to Germany in particular, because Germany's always been a country that was very big in chemistry. They went to England, and there they found a young man who was a budding chemist, and they thought, this guy is good. He's going to make something significant. His name was Wallace Carruthers, and they brought him to the DuPont company. Said, here's your lab, here's a team to work with you. You study whatever you want to study, and we're convinced something good will come out of what you will do. And that was back around 1929 when they started this. In 1939, there was a World's Fair in New York City, and the DuPont company had a booth there, and Wallace Carruthers was there. Probably had a white lab coat on, and he did what I'm going to do. He had 2 beakers, and here they are. They had studied natural fabrics, and they had found that they were just made up of little molecules hooked together to make big molecules. Now, I'm not going to worry you with the structure of these molecules, but one of them is dissolved in a chemical called carbon. It's like gasoline, yeah, like gasoline. And the other one is dissolved in water. And I'm going to put a little indicator in here so you can see it. And I'm going to pour this gasoline-like solution down on top of the water solution, and 2 layers will form because water and gasoline don't mix. And then I'm going to take a pair of tongs and reach in, and I'm going to grab a molecule. And you've all had enough chemistry to know molecules are little bitty things. You can't grab a molecule, for heaven's sake. You know, you can't even see one with the best ultra microscope. And you're going to grab one, a molecule? Yeah. But it's a special kind of molecule. It's a big molecule. We would call it a macromolecule, a polymer. P-O-L-Y-M-E-R. Poly means many, mer means units. Polymer, many units hooked together. So we're going to pour the gasoline-like solution on top of the water. 2 layers will form. See the 2 layers? We're going to reach in and grab a molecule. Believe it or not, that's a macromolecule, a polymer. In 1939, at the New York World's Fair, they were demonstrating what they had discovered. What DuPont did then was to take this fiber, this macromolecule, and process it and then pull it into really fine fibers. And the following year, they made enough of this stuff to make 60 million pair of nylon stockings. All of you probably have garments made out of nylon. If not, you have rayon, you have Dacron, you have all these synthetic fibers. And that's what chemistry has done for us. It has given so many new things that we just didn't have. Nature didn't provide. But through chemistry, those things can be provided. Well, I just wanted to give you that idea as an introduction. William, we're ready to go on to that next habit.
All of you in here, somebody in here knows somebody, or you have used some pantyhose. He just made pantyhose for you. You can go home and make your own pantyhose. Hey man, don't look at me, man. Somebody you know wear pantyhose. Watch this. Watch this. Beginning with the end in mind is automatically having a vision. Just like those doctors began with the end in mind with his back. Just like those scientists began with the end in mind, you can now create. Remember when I told you Madam C.J. Walker, the first female multimillionaire? Watch this. She was a chemist. She was a chemist. Your mind is one of the most beautiful tools that you have, one of the greatest resources you have. You can now create. First thing you want to do is you want to create a better life for yourself. So when we talk about beginning with the end in mind, this is the habit that is the blueprint for your life. When I was 14, I read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. At 14, I decided that I was going to college. That I was going to college and I was going to be a lawyer. I wrote out my mission statement. Wrote out my mission statement at the age of 14. When I was 16, I got into some trouble. Got into some trouble with the law. Got in some trouble with the law. It almost derailed my hopes and my aspiration. I went right back to my personal mission statement. When I was 18, came here to the University of Louisville. And I had to go through a lot of different obstacles in order to play football here. But watch this, my personal mission statement. I went right back to my personal mission statement because I had committed it to memory and it just burned in my heart to pursue that path. That's what this habit is all about. This habit is all about you, like the doctor, like the scientist, creating a better life for yourself. That begins with a personal mission statement. Right. On page 84, you will see something called the Great Discovery. Personal mission statements are discovered or they're detected and not invented. So you have to detect. You got to know how you tick. Here's the tragedy. Here's the tragedy. Is that you will know more about other people than you know about yourself. We want you to get to know you. All right? Here's what I want you to do. Find somebody whom you haven't talked to yet today. Turn that page on the Great Discovery. You're going to interview that person on each of these questions. Now, you're going to write your responses in here, in this page. Whatever responses is, this is your book. You're going to write your own responses, but you're going to ask them the question so that they can think about it and y'all can talk about it, all right? So you're going to do a standing interview, a standing interview. Find somebody, and it's 10 questions, 10 questions, 10 questions. And you're just going to discover some things about yourself and the other person. All right, take time. Find somebody you haven't talked to today. Go ahead, do a standing interview.
I guess. Guess. I don't know. Like she's not.
She's on the phone. We're trying to get to her.
She can't get on the elevator. Okay, I would. Day in a great library studying anything you wanted.
Choose to be
I'm on number 5.
Desire.
I'm not talking about desires.
Roll. The whole purpose of habit number 2 can be summed up right here. Design your life or someone else will. You and I have the opportunity to be an architect of our own lives. But the way that you design that life is you write that personal mission statement. Let's go through some pointers on personal mission statements. On page 90. Somebody, out loud, if you can read that first paragraph. Read. Thank you so very much for volunteering. Yeah.
Now that you've taken the time to walk through the great discovery, you've got a good jump start on developing a mission statement. Below I've listed 4 easy methods to help you get started writing your own mission statement. You may want to try one of them or combine all 4 of them in any way you see fit. These are just suggestions, so feel free to find your own method.
All right. Method number 1. Somebody read it out loud. We're going to go rapid fire. Go right ahead.
The quote collection. Collect a few of your very favorite quotes.
Stop right there. Stop right there. That was good. Collect a few of your very favorite quotes. All right? Try not, let me say this, try not to use only rap lyrics. You know, my mission statement is live or die trying. And we don't want all that, all right? You want to think of something real good. Read some real good books, all right? Method number 2. Go ahead.
Okay. The brain dump. Speed write about your mission for 10 minutes. Don't worry about what's coming out. Don't edit what you're writing. Just keep writing and don't stop writing. Get all of your ideas down on paper. If you get stuck, reflect upon your answers to the great discovery.
All right, stop right there. All right? So you're just going to start writing. Go back to the great discovery again and detect what your strengths and what your mission will be. Method number 3. Wait.
Method 3 will reach you. Plan a large chunk of time, like an entire afternoon, and go to a place you adore where you can be alone and turn off your phone. Think deeply about your life and what you want to make of it. Review your answers to the great discovery. Look to the mission statements, examples. In this book of ideas, take your time and construct your own mission statement using any method you see.
Okay, watch this. It's going to be hard for a lot of y'all. Find some place where you can be alone. Turn off your phone. Look to the person next to you and say, turn off your phone. All right? Crack them. Calm down, Cracker. Turn off. The reason why that's important, watch this. One of the leadership characteristics is reflection. And if you're constantly wired and connected to stuff, you don't have time to reflect. You don't have time to think through anything. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure you have time to reflect. Method number 4. Right here.
The big lazy. If you're really lazy, use the U.S. Army's recruiting slogan, Army Strong, as your personal mission statement. Hey, I'm just joking. A big mistake people make when writing a mission statement is that they spend so much time thinking about making it perfect, they never get started. You're much better off writing an perfect rough draft and then improving it over time, learning as you go.
All right, stop right there. So again, we're going to start off with a rough draft. We're going to improve it as we go. All right? It's important that you take time. Either you're going to design your life or somebody else will. How many of you want to be the architects of your own destiny and your own future? Raise your hand. Take time to write your personal mission statement. All right. Question, where will you be in 5 years? Will we success? Success is not hocus pocus. It is focus, focus. It's not hocus pocus. It just don't materialize. It is focus, focus. Watch this. Proactive people now move down the road. They set some goals for themselves. They focus and then they work real hard. Here's what detracts you or gets you sidetracked. Laziness. Lazy people do not achieve anything but being lazy. All right? Laziness. If it's too hard, here's what one writer said. One writer said this right here. He said that oftentimes we don't achieve the goals that we want is because we don't get used to feeling uncomfortable. He said in order to achieve great goals, you have to get used to feeling uncomfortable. That's where your courage zone is, where it's uncomfortable. Lazy people always want to be comfortable. So they stay in their comfort zone. The most dangerous place you could ever be is in your comfort zone. Here's another thing that detracts you. Drugs. Drugs. They just say, man, I just do it on the weekend. That's how everybody who got hooked started. Popping pills, smoking weed. They was just doing it on the weekends. All right? Lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. Not believing in yourself. Not believing in your study method. The best way you begin to believe yourself and to build your confidence is have small successes at doing something. Just continue to be successful. If you want to be confident at running, you have to start with the first step. No goals, temptation, peer pressure. Now, watch this. Watch this. I have succumbed to many of those on there. I have succumbed to many of those on there. And I've fallen, and I failed, and I got off the road, but guess what? Because I had my mission statement, it helped me to get right back on the road. Right back on the road. And guess what? I can tell you what's over in the bushes. I can tell you, look, you ain't got to go in the bushes. I'm going to let you know what's over there. Just ask me. I'm going to let you know. Look, don't go over there. All right? Do not get off the road. I'm going to let you know what's over there off the side of the road. All right? Again, this particular habit keeps you focused. All right? Habit number 3. Habit number 3. Put first things first. Everybody turn page. Put first things first. Habit number 3 is really about you now executing on your highest priorities. Here's my personal mission statement. My personal mission statement is to build and to bless. To build and to bless. When I lead people, I want them to be empowered. All right? To bless literally means that they are satisfied. That they are satisfied. So everything that I do around building people up and blessing their lives. So when I sit down, I look at my personal mission statement and I write goals out of that. I set my goals. Here's how you write a goal. Everybody write this down. From X to Y, find somewhere to write this down. This is the formula for writing a goal. Ready? From X to Y, by when? Put the formula for goal right up here. Here it is. That's the formula for writing a goal. From X to Y by when. If you say you want your grade to move from a C to a B, you want to put a date on it. I want to move from a C to a B by the second grading period. By the second grading period. I guarantee you, if you do that with all of your classes, and then you go to your teacher and show you, this is what I want to do, and then ask your teacher this, how you going to help me reach this goal? you're gonna blow them away. You're gonna blow them away, because you just employed them. You just made them a part of your development team. You are in charge now. Now you begin to share with them, okay, this is what I need from you. Now you have a dialogue, an exchange. You are now investing in your own life. Right? So habit number 3 is really all about you organizing your life around those particular goals that you want to reach. All right, Dr. Tom.
I'm back. Yeah. I want to share a couple of more things with you, some chemistry, and see if we can link this in a little more closely to what we're trying to talk about here today. You know, one of the things I always wanted to do, and I just didn't have the talent, I wanted to be a singer. I don't sing very well. Just to give you an illustration, I'm going to sing a line or two, and then I'll stop. Let's see. If you visit American City, you will find it very pretty. Just 2 things of which you must beware. Don't drink the water and don't breathe the air. Pollution, pollution. We got smog and sewage and mud. Turn on the tap and get hot and cold running crud. See the Hollywoods and the sturgeons. They're being wiped out by detergents. Fish gotta swim and birds gotta fly, but they don't last long if they try. Pollution, pollution, you can use the latest toothpaste and then rinse your mouth with industrial waste. Well, that gives you an idea why I'm not in the choir at church. You'd be kidding me. But anyway, I can make the singing better.
Don't let them encourage you.
William probably needs a good tenor in his church choir. And if I do this right, he might even let me try. Let's see what happens. If you visit American City, you will find it very pretty. Just 2 things of which you must beware. Don't drink the water and don't breathe the air. Now, you know what that is? It's a lungful of helium. It's on your periodic table. Look at your periodic table. Can you find the element helium on the periodic table? Now, you don't want to do this back to back, because you could zonk out because you don't have enough oxygen in your system. So it's not something you mess around with, but I can do it just to make a good point. And the point is that we need to be constantly looking for new and better ways to do things. You know, hydrogen has been known for a long time as a great source of energy. It would power our cars. And even though we knew that for years, nobody took it very seriously. And then I think it was the Germans who came out with the first hydrogen-powered car. If it wasn't them, it wasn't Americans, that's for sure. But now, everybody's pushing to have hydrogen as a source of energy. Now, let's see, I want to show you a couple things. I've got over here, in some test tubes, I put 2 gases in these test tubes. And in one of the test tubes, I put in element number 1, which is what? Hydrogen. And element number 8, which is what? And I want to see what happens if we put a flame in front of the test tube that has those 2 gases. So I'm going to strike this match. I'm going to light a little torch. Now, energy is a big thing in our society, in our culture today. Now, this is oxygen. Let's see if anything happens when I put this flame in there. I don't hear anything, and really I don't see anything. The hydrogen must have leaked out, the oxygen must have leaked out. Normally what happens is, because of the oxygen in there, which supports combustion, this would have burned more brightly. It just didn't happen because this plug wasn't in tight enough apparently. So that didn't work. But trust me, not much would have happened anyway. Now I'm going to take the test tube with the hydrogen in it, and hopefully I'll have the stopper in a little more tightly, and maybe we'll get something out of the hydrogen. So let's take the, now listen carefully. No, it didn't work either. Well, that's crazy. Actually, I'll tell you what's happened. Did you see that it was burning more brightly? I had labeled the test tube wrong. That was the oxygen. Sorry about that. That's my downfall. The point I'm trying to make, and not doing it very well, hydrogen will give you a little bark. Oxygen will make something burn brightly. What happens if you put them together? This really kind of suggests something called synergy. So let me take another torch and light it, and I have put some hydrogen and oxygen, both gases, into a Coke bottle or a pop bottle. So let me strike a match, see what we can come up with. There's a pop bottle with hydrogen and oxygen. That works. I hope you get the point that if you put hydrogen and oxygen together in an automobile, you can get energy. If you do it the right way, you can turn that energy into momentum to move the car along. So that just makes the point. Now, we're doing some other things. I lit a cigarette. Now, I'm going to take another cigarette, and let me say something about this product. This is probably the dumbest invention to ever come down the pike. Now, we grow a weed in Kentucky. It's called tobacco. And a lot of farmers, that's how they make their cash for the year, off the tobacco. They grow this plant, they cut it down, they hang it in the barn, it turns a beautiful golden color. They put it on their truck and take it down to the market, and they sell that tobacco. And the tobacco companies come in and they buy that tobacco, take it down to the factory, they shred it and chop it all up, put a piece of paper around it, and put this other colored piece of paper around it. I wonder why they did that. Oh, well, that's a filter. And what is it supposed to do? Now think about what we're doing here. We've got an organic leaf tobacco ground up in the cigarette, and we're burning it with a flame on the end. The temperature is around 1200 degrees Celsius. That's hot. And those tobacco plants being exposed to that temperature rearrange their organic molecules. And as they're moving around through the cigarette, they recombine with other fragments of a molecule, and they create new molecules. And those new molecules are toxic. And when you suck them into your lung, they can cause cancer, they can create heart disease, they can do all sorts of weird things. Now, why would anyone want to suck that stuff into their body when they know it's going to cause damage? Well, the reason is clear, because when you smoke, you're cool, right? You know, you got it made, man. Everybody is like, hey, this guy's smoking, he must know something. Well, the thing is, he doesn't know something. He doesn't know he's sucking these toxic fumes into his body. Now, I lit a cigarette a while ago. It normally takes anywhere from 12 to 13 minutes to burn down to the filter when it goes out, if you don't puff on it. But that's because when we burn a cigarette, we're burning it in an atmosphere that is made up of a mixture of gases. And one of those gases is oxygen, and that's what supports combustion. But in the air you breathe, only 20% oxygen. And that's why it takes 12 to 13 minutes for a cigarette to burn down. What if we have more oxygen? What if whoever the creator was that created the planet Earth and put an envelope of gases around it, and in that envelope of gases there was 20% oxygen to support life? What if they had made 80% oxygen? What would life have been like on planet Earth? Well, obviously, the creator who made all of this knew a whole lot more than people knew, and created an environment that would support life. So I'm going to take the cigarette, I'm going to take this jug out of here. Now, a day or so ago, I filled this jug with oxygen gas in the lab at school. And I had it immersed in that tank of gas, or in that pan of water, and I'm going to take a match, see if I can get it to light a torch again. I'm going to light a cigarette, that's what I want to do. Take the cigarette. We're going to put it down in a jug of relatively pure oxygen. Well, I think I need some new matches. I'm going to take my tongs, and I'm going to put this down in a jug that's relatively pure oxygen. Now that's a cigarette that normally would have taken 12 to 13 minutes. It didn't take 12 to 13 seconds because what the cigarette needed to burn was an abundance of oxygen, and that's what it had when it was in that jug. So I want you to think that sometimes we see things as they are for us because we live in that kind of world with 20% oxygen, but if it was more, it would be rather different. Chemistry is the study of stuff. And I got 2 beakers of stuff here. I'm going to mix these up. I can pour them back and forth a few times to see if we can make some new stuff. So I want to dump this in there, and I'll pour it back. Well, it forms something. Let me see. Let's see what this stuff does. It normally makes a whole beaker of a gel, and you can normally take this. You can actually buy this stuff if you need some. It's called Sterno. Let me take a match and see what we can do with it. Let's say you're going to go on a camping trip, and you're going to go and you want to fry the fish that you catch. But you know that at the campsite there won't be much little pieces of wood because they've all been picked up and burned. But if you buy a can of Sterno, you can take the top off and just put a match on it, and it burns very nicely. It's very hot, it's ethyl alcohol burning, and it does the job. So chemistry can provide an awful lot of things for us that can be very meaningful to us. Now let me see what else I've got. William, this is habit what we've been doing?
3.
Why don't you go ahead and take habit number 4.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me finish this one up. Pop, here's what you gotta understand. We want you to hang around good people so that your life will pop, so that you will have an impact, maximum impact. So you gotta make sure that you hang around people who have similar goals. Similar goals. Again, this is what I tell my daughters. The reason why you take the last name of the person whom you're going to marry is because what you're saying is that you share their vision. So if they are going nowhere, where are you going? Nowhere. Nowhere. Same thing I tell my son. I said, man, if she ain't going nowhere, guess where you going? Nowhere. So you want to make sure that you pop. You combine yourself with somebody or hook up with somebody that's moving in the same direction that you are moving. All right? Here on page, turn the page. Somebody get that page for me real quick. 107. I want you to have a conversation at your table. Which quadrant, read each of the quadrants, which quadrant do you find yourself in and why? Share that with the person across from you. Which quadrant do you find yourself in and why? Easier because now you have an organizing system. It was an organizing system. That's all we did. We organized it for you. So you know that the 1, 2, 3 is going to be in here. 4, 5, 6 is going to be in here. 7, 8, 9 is going to be in here. And then you just go with that pattern. All right? Your life is the same way. Your life can be much easier by just having an organizing system. Now, all of you got this. Remember your agendas in school? In your agendas in school, you have the 7 habits. If it's done by Premier, you have the 7 habits. But oftentimes, what do we use those agendas for? Hall passes. That's all we ever use them for. That's all we ever use it to go to the restroom. But watch this. Watch this. You have a planning system in your agenda where you can now organize your life. Organize your life. And this is what you want to do. You want to organize your life around big rocks. Around big rocks, okay? Your big rocks are your most important things. So you sit down, you plan your life out around your big rocks. First come your big rocks, and then all the little rocks. This is a perfect organizing system to get you out of all those quadrants. The procrastinator, the slacker, or the yes man or yes woman. We don't want you in any of those. We want you in quadrant number 2. So in your spare time, I want you to make sure that you read through that, all right? Read through that so that you can begin to organize. Every leader has a planning tool. Every leader has a planning tool. The planning tool that I use is my phone. I plan out, I got my calendar on here, I got everything I need, so I know where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be there, and what I'm supposed to be doing. Because if not, I will be in which quadrant? Slacker. I'll be in quadrant 4 in a heartbeat. All right? You want to avoid quadrant 4. All right? That was habit number 3. Now we're getting ready to move up to habit number 4, but there's a space in between. How many of you would love to have better relationships? Better relationships with people, better relationships with your parents, better relationships with your friends. One of the ways that you could do that is, here's a metaphor for healthy relationships. To measure the amount of trust in relationships is called the emotional bank account. Come on, let's turn there. Bank account on page 131. All right. With the person on one page, take away 134. 134. With the person across from you, I want you to discuss 3 deposits you can make in somebody's life that's close to you. 3 deposits that you can make. First, I want you to read what a deposit and what a withdrawal is. All right? You're going to find it somewhere on those particular pages. And then I want you to discuss how many deposits, 3 deposits that you can make in somebody's life that's close to you. All right? Have that discussion. Figure out what a deposit and what a withdrawal is. And then someone close to you, 3 deposits. Oh, I know somebody in a relationship, they made a withdrawal, and it moved down to bankrupt. Or the relationship goes from here, watch, starts right here, goes all the way down to here to the negative. Or, watch this, relationship started out real tight, and then it just went down there. Give me another one. Relationship that goes up and down, on and off. Anybody ever know anybody in a relationship like that? Watch this. How do we keep our relationships moving up? Here it is. Go ahead, say it.
If they got the same goals as you, and like they not, they not reactive all the time, and
notice what she said. Notice what she said. She said they have the same goals and not reactive all the time. What type of deposits are they making? Emotional bank account deposits. Making deposits and not withdrawals. So here's how you keep your relationships healthy. You want to make more deposits than you do withdrawals. Think about a relationship that's close to you, dear to you. Relationship with your parent, relationship with a sibling, relationship with a friend. What's 3 deposits that you can make? All right, 3 deposits that by the end of the day you will make into those relationships. Share with the person across from you. Share with the person across from you 3 deposits that you can make into that relationship. Share with me some deposits you're gonna make real quick. Share with me some deposits. Right here. Right here. Good, excellent. Anybody else? What's some deposits you're gonna make in those relationships?
I have one, and it's one that I don't really get to do a lot, but spend time with them.
Wow.
So we can build a better relationship.
Good, excellent, excellent, excellent. Anybody else? Okay, all right. Emotional bank account is how you build trust in a relationship. Trust is the foundation of every particular relationship. Now, you're moving into the public victory. This is how you build healthy relationships with people. Healthy relationship. The first one you do is think win-win. Everybody turn to habit number 4. Okay. There are 6 human interactions. All right? There's win-lose. There's lose-win. There's lose-lose. There's win-win. There's win-win, no deal. All right, here's what I want you to do. I want each table, you're going to take an interaction. You're going to take an interaction, right? And then you're going to do a skit on that particular interaction. You're looking at me like, what? Yeah, y'all going to do a skit. Let me see your book. So if you have win-lose, y'all gonna read it, y'all gonna come up together with a skit. I'm gonna invite you to the stage over here, and y'all gonna act it out. A win-lose situation, okay? If you got lose-win, you're gonna do the same thing. Y'all gonna read it, you're gonna figure out what it is, and then you're gonna act it out, all right? So I should have, hold on, let me see. I only got 5 on here, don't? Y'all help me out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to break it up into 4 groups. 1, 2. Hold on, let me break that. Let me do that again. Do that again. I realized what I was working with. Let's go. 1. Y'all won. Y'all won. Y'all take the first one. What's the first one? Win-lose? Win-lose? Okay, ladies, y'all go over there. Y'all talk about y'all skit, what y'all gonna do on win-lose. Figure out what it is, then y'all gonna do is come up with a skit. 2, do yourselves. 3, I'm gonna combine you two together. 3, and then y'all 4. Y'all gotta come up with y'all skit, and then y'all gonna come up here and act it out. I'm gonna invite y'all to the stage, and y'all gonna act it out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to welcome you to the LCC Theater. My name is Mr. B. And today we have some of your greatest actors and actresses taking the stage. Coming to the stage now is the wonderful, the dynamic Tri-Fit In. Somebody got to explain. Okay, hold on. Somebody let's explain what win-lose is, and then y'all gotta go ahead.
Win-lose is basically when you get your way the first time to go around, and then once it all comes back around, you end up losing because it catches up to you. Okay,